going to call. Point of order, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Mr Chair, I seek leave for the House to begin its Wednesday sitting session at the conclusion of the urgency.
Leave is sought for that purpose.
From him, the Wednesday session, the entire program as per the order paper.
Well, there is no order paper for Wednesday. We are in urgency, and we're in urgency, and an order paper is only published once urgency finishes, and then it becomes the new order of the day. So, in regards to the leave that you're seeking, can you just clarify that, because there is no order of the day other than urgency that we're in at the moment?
Well, Mr Chairman, the order paper, of course, is normally published at the conclusion of the urgency. You're quite right. If the urgency continues beyond 2 o'clock, the national members have indicated their concern that the House would not be able to sit for the remainder of over a regular programmed Wednesday session. I am seeking leave for that to be able to happen.
I'm just, thank you, I'm just seeking some advice. Look, this is, I thank the member for the points he's raised in seeking leave. I haven't struck this before, so I'm going to seek some guidance. And once I have some guidance how it could be facilitated, I hear what you're saying. At that stage, I'd be happy, once I have some guidance as to whether that can be facilitated, then possibly you could seek leave again. But at this stage, I'm unsure, and I want to know in my own mind, because I understand how it currently works, but I know what you're trying to, how you're trying to facilitate something, and I'm happy to get advice on that. So I'm calling Kelvin Davis.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Thank you, Mr Chair. Well, it's obvious to the House that what's more important to the National Party is stopping at 1 o'clock so they can go and have lunch, rather than dealing with the issue at hand, which is the homelessness situation in New Zealand. Mr Chair, it's a bit rich also for David Thinskin Seymour to stand up and start casting aspersions on the members of the Labour Party, saying that they're petulant and accusing things of Grant Robertson, when that member is the #1 in the House for mocking, ridiculing other members, and yet when something happens to him or is said about him, he's what we say in Māori, a tangiweto. A tangiweto. A crybaby. Mr. Chair, I want to address directly. And I've tabled a supplementary order paper that is going to amend Clause 10. It's a very important amendment, Mr. Chair. At the moment, Clause 10, Section 15 is amended, and subclause 3, it says, subsection 2 does not affect any right of first refusal that a person or group of persons has in relation to the land under any Treaty of Waitangi Claims, settlement or collective redress act or deed. Now, the wording here implies that this only applies to those treaty settlements that have already been finished. Now, I was at Select Committee today, Mr Chair, and we're talking about a number of iwi that have yet to have their claims settled, such as Te Atiawa, Tauranga Moana, Ngāti Pukenga. Those are the ones that are before the Select Committee, not to mention that other noble iwi of my own, that peace-loving, passive, humble iwi of Ngāpuhi, who are yet to get to even have an agreement in principle or a deed of settlement signed. We are concerned that, as it is written, this clause in the bill will not apply to those tribes that are yet to settle, because it says we're talking about under any Treaty of Waitangi Claims settlement. So what I am proposing in the supplementary order paper is on line 5, after the word any, and before Treaty of Waitangi Claims, that we include the words current or future Treaty of Waitangi claims. It's very small. It's not going to really require any major discussion. I just think that the government needs to accept that they've missed out a little bit there, and that we need to make sure that this clause applies not only to settlements that have been completed, but also to future settlements. Mr. Chair, incidentally, just coming from the Select Committee, we're going to be, the Māori Affairs Select Committee, I should say, we're going to be briefed on rights of first refusal in the next few weeks, because the officials today told us that rights, RFRs, no RFR is actually the same, and there could be any number of differences. In fact, they said there were about 6 or 8 different differences around rights of first refusal, and it depends on the different settlement. Now, for example, what happens is that we're under the impression that iwi get the first right of refusal. That's not the case. There's a bit of a process that the government goes through. The first process is they look to other government departments or agencies. For example, a bit of land might actually be offered to the Ministry of Education if they wanted to build a school or put a kaupapa or something like that. The second level is that it could be offered to a charitable organisation. For example, Gloria Vale is a charitable organisation. Land could be offered first of all to Gloria Vale to help their charitable functions, and then iwi are the last cab off the rank. Now, we're sick and tired as Māori of being the last cab off the rank all the time. Iwi should be at the top of the list, that iwi should be the first to get the right of first refusal, not the last cab off the rank. Also have to just make comment about David Thinskin Seymour, about the way he is propping up the current, he's propping up the current system.
A point of order, David Seymour.
Mr. Speaker, I'd hate to give more credence to the accusation, but I think it is important to uphold the standards of the House, that it's not actually within standing orders to call people by a nickname or moniker, as the member has been throughout his speech, and he should withdraw that.
Yes, I hear what the member is saying, and there has been some latitude in calling people by various names. I just ask members to concentrate on the bill, so it's Kelvin Davis.
Look, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, I will withdraw and apologise for being so hurtful. But, Mr. Speaker, that is beside the fact that Mr. Seymour is propping up the very system that is leading to homelessness. Now, he's happy for, he said, a motorway to be built from Auckland to Wellington, and that we compulsorily acquire land under the Public Works Act for any property owners who are holding up the works. However, he'll do that for cars and trucks and everyone else, but he won't do anything for homeless people and helping people get into affordable houses. That, Mr. Speaker, just goes to show the priority that the ACT Party has in terms of making life better for New Zealanders. He's happy for trucks and cars to get a fast access way from Auckland to Wellington, Wellington to Auckland, but he's not happy. He's not going to back this. He's not going to back New Zealanders to get into cheap, affordable, comfortable, warm, dry houses en masse. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Good speech. I'm going to call Marama Davidson.